What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video. Excited to be here to talk the latest New York Jets news on this Monday morning. Let's get started with Jermaine Johnson, who was activated off the PUP list. A really good sign to see. Jermaine Johnson, who is working his way back from an Achilles injury, expected to make his debut at some point this week. Now, I will be at practice on Tuesday for the Jets and Giants joint practice. I'm excited to be there, but I'm excited to now see Jermaine Johnson. I don't know if they're just going to toss him in and be like, okay, you're 100% a full go. They've been taking this kind of slow with Jermaine Johnson. He posted that he was ready to go all the way back on July 19th, but the Jets wanted to take it slow, which was fine. And now, almost a month later on August 11th, he is going to be implemented back in some capacity doing stuff with the team. Now, I don't know if this means like, hey, he's activated and he's going to play in the game on Sunday against the Giants. But again, we'll see kind of what it looks like from the New York Jets. We haven't really seen anything with like a major injury in this new staff yet. Like obviously Justin Fields was banged up and they took it slow for a couple days with him before he was all the way back out there. But Jermaine Johnson was an inherited Achilles injury. So we know with Robert Saleh and that coaching staff, they took things pretty slow with guys like Tyron Smith a year ago and Breece Hall working back from the injuries a couple years ago. Really, the only one that they rushed was Aaron Rodgers, and that was more Aaron Rodgers than it was, coming from the team side of things. That's not all the news that I wanted to talk about. According to multiple Jets beat reporters, Derrick Nnadi is in danger of getting cut, and that was a recent New York Jets addition. They signed him this offseason, and a lot of people penciled him in as a starter next to Quinnen Williams. That hasn't been the case. Right now, Byron Cowart, who is injured, has been the guy running with Quinnen Williams, both in training camp and further back in minicamp and OTAs. Now, neither Rich Cimini or Zach Rosenblatt had him on their 53-man roster predictions. And this quote from Rosenblatt really stood out. Nnadi has been invisible for most of camp. If everyone is healthy, I'm curious to see how secure his roster spot is. Now, he would go on to say that him being a veteran might end up helping his case, but it depends on how many they're keeping. If they're keeping 5 interior defensive linemen, and we're assuming health, Derrick Nnadi, I don't know if he has a guaranteed spot. You have Quinnen Williams, who eventually is going to get healthy, right? Byron Cowart, Tufele, who just went off, Peyton Page, and Leonard Taylor. That could absolutely be a 5. Unless they want to go, we'll carry 6 interior guys and only 4 edges. Maybe that's a route that they go, and that's how Nnadi gets onto the team. But if they're just going to carry 5 interior defensive linemen, I don't think it's a lock, especially if Tufele is going to play like he did earlier in the preseason, right, in week 1 and just so far through camp. And you kind of, at this time of year, you got to listen to the coaches a little bit and try to read the tea leaves. And we honestly haven't heard them talk pretty much at all about Derrick Nnadi. They've talked up Tufele a ton. They've talked up Peyton Page a ton. That's why I think, before the breakout performance in the preseason game for Tufele, there was a pretty strong feeling that, hey, like the Jets staff like him a lot more than maybe we anticipate. And he was really good. We're going to see if that continues, right? Like, I'm not rooting for this, but you got to see if it's a 1-week wonder. I hope he looks as good as he did this past week going forward. That'd be huge for the New York Jets. But, it's going to be really important to see how these guys look. And Nnadi's got to turn it around because, again, his roster spot isn't guaranteed. And we saw his last year in Kansas City, his playing time went way down and he didn't look nearly as good. So I don't think it's necessarily a lock that Derrick Nnadi is going to make the New York Jets. That's it for me in this one. I'll be back later on today with another video. Thanks so much for hanging out. I'm Matt O'Leary. I'll catch you next time.